Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic for today's bonus content, which is going to be a Knight's Move puzzle. So quite a lot going on the channel lately, and especially on our Patreon site. Look for Patreon Cracking the Cryptic, and there you'll find a crossword explanation video by myself. People occasionally ask in the comments, are you still doing crossword content? Well, we're doing it. It's available on the Patreon site. It's not behind the paywall. You can just look it up, go there and watch the video to learn a bit more about cryptic clues. Now, if that's not your bag, you may be more interested in Kurt Hugo Schneider's own explanation of his puzzle for our competition. It was a 6x6 irregular Sudoku with only some of the bars provided. Absolutely brilliant puzzle. And it was enjoyed by an awful lot of our viewers who entered the competition. So Kurt's explanation, and I mean, why would you not want to watch Kurt Hugo Schneider explaining his own puzzle? That is behind the paywall, but $2 or $3 a month, you know, it's not that bad. I recommend that anyway, obviously. And also congratulations to those people who did enter the competition, and especially to Tobias Hartung, who won the extra wallet, and the number and the quantity of the entries in that competition to explain the solution to that puzzle blew us away. They were so good. It's a real pat on the back for Tobias to have been the best of them in our judgment, but there were so many that could have won the wallet. They were absolutely excellent, really interesting, and we're really grateful for the interest generally. So moving on to today's puzzle, which has been sent to us by Mike Halderman. He compiled a few Knight's Move puzzles. Now, we haven't had this tested, but Mike reports that his wife Sue tested it and thinks it's pretty hard. So we'll rely on that, and I'm going to have a go at the puzzle. So you can try it before you watch the solve on the link below the video, and see if I do it the same way. With a Knight's Move, there's every chance I'll be missing something that you did see, so you can enjoy that if that occurs. And let's get cracking. So I've got a couple of 8s down here, so that lets us pencil mark an 8 in one of those two cells by normal Sudoku. Oh look, we've got 3 and 5 in both columns 1 and 2. So 3 and 5 must be in those 3 cells. 3 can't be in the middle one because of the Knight's Move constraint. And we've got an interesting symmetry in columns 8 and 9. 8 and 4 mean that 8 and 4 in column 7 must be a little pair here. That kind of limits where other numbers in the same column can be. So at 9 and 3 we can limit down a bit. That's interesting. It's not a fully symmetrical pattern of givens, but it is partly. Now this 9 sees both these cells, one by Knight's Move. This 9 is ruled out of there, so we can put 9 in one of those two. And similar with 3. 3 is seeing those two, and that cell is seen by that 3. So 3 is down the bottom in one of those. This cell now, it's seen by that 9, that 3, 5, 7, 8, 4, and also by Knight's Moves by 1 and 2. So we can know that that's a 6 straight away. That 6 goes in one of those two and one of those two. No, in fact, now this is a 3-1 pair, and this is a 2-9 pair. So there is some very nice symmetry going on here that I wasn't expecting. 7 is ruled out of those cells by that 7, and that one by the one in the corner. So 7 must be here, and that resolves the 6. This is now a 4-8 pair. And I bet this cell's complete. Yep, that's a 5. Naked single now. So we can get rid of the 6 from those two. That's 6-7 pair. So we've got 9, 3, 5 in the middle. Don't know quite in what order yet, but we know mistyping. 9, 3, 5. We know 5's not in the central one because of that 5. What else can we find? So this is 1, 4, 2 up here. We can place the 2. That 2 and that 2 allow us to put 2 in there. Sorry, wrong notation. 2. This can't be a 1 because of the knight's move, so it's a 4. 1 goes there. Perfect. 5, 2. 9 in this column 7 is resolved now. That's got to be here. And actually 3 is resolved in the column as well by this 3 in the box here. So that's 3. And now that 3 is looking at the central cell, which is 9. And that's looking at this cell. I mean, that's unwinding very prettily there. We can take 9 out of the edges. They are 3 or 5. And look, that we've unfolded a kind of ladder shape in the bottom section. That's nice. And I've written the wrong number in here. Sorry, I said I was putting a 3 in. I wrote a 9. Everything I did after that seems to have been correct, but that's a stupid error. Right, 1 and 7 is a pair now in this column. So these 3 are a kind of 2, 5, 6 triple. That one's not a 5 by the knight's move. Okay, so what else have we got? Yes, where... Oh no, I was going to say where in this row can 1 go? And there is still another cell apart from this one. It could go here, but I think a lot of these 7, 6, 2, 1 and 8 are ruled out. So I'm going to fill in the possible cells. 2 is given. This 2, this 2, this 2 and that 2 are ruling out 4 of the 5 cells in row 6. So in fact this is a 2 and that fixes the 1. That makes this the 1. We have 7, 6, 8 left to put in. That could be 6, 7, 6, 8, 7, 8. So I don't know quite how they're going to resolve yet, but the 2's gone in. That was slightly surprising. Now 6 here is seeing all of those cells, one of them by knight's move. So we can put a 6 in one of those 2 and one of those 2. Not sure what else we've got. I mean, this central box is looking quite restricted. And I'm wondering if maybe I should enter all the constrained possibilities, but that might be going a bit too far at the moment. Let's see if there's just anything else I should be picking up first. I don't know. Let's do it in the corners. 1 is ruled out of those cells, but also that one and that one by knight's move. So 1 is in one of those 2. We've got 2, 3. That's seen by knight's move by that one. 3 must be in one of those 2. 4 is a bit... Oh no, that 4 sees all of those 3. So 4 is now in one of those 2. These are quite constrained. 5's a bit less constrained. 5 could appear in quite a few. That's a shame. Now 6, actually we know 6 is in one of those 2 because that's where it has to be for the row. So they're kind of fixed. 7, that's one of the possibilities. This cell is seeing all of those. And this cell rules out another one. So 7 could be here. 8. I'm going to have to add these 2 to the possibles for 8. And 9. 9's only got 2 possibles. Now, if we'd come up with... I'm actually going to just chain... Well, now I'll leave them there. But in this central box, they're as good as the candidates because they're the only places these things can be. And there's no 7 in the central row there, so 7 must be in one of those 2. Not sure that really helps. Certainly not yet. What else have we got? This is a kind of 6-1-2 triple because of that 6-1-2. So actually let's fill them in. Take out the 6 that can't be there. remove the corner notation. I am tempted to put all these possibles in the centers of the cells, just so that you and I both know that these are the only candidates possible for these cells. And let's get rid of the corner notation similarly. Sorry, a bit laborious, but it helps explain it, I think. So this is now a 478 triple, and they kind of split up into groups. So these are a 359 triple. Same sort of thing here. I'm going to take out the corner notes and the 5 from that cell. So no, I did that wrong. There we go. 359, 7. 2 can't be there or there. So it's in one of these 3, and that's quite interesting because one of them it's not in, and that's that one. All of these 3 cells, which must contain a 2 in this box, see this cell. So 2 must be in one of those 2. And in fact, now it's in one of those 2. We can rule out this cell as not having a 2 because both of them see this one. Knights moves puzzles work quite strangely in that sort of way a lot of the time. And in fact now we've got a 1625 triple across the middle. So I can take out 5 from here. I can take out 1 and 5 from here. Now this is interesting because 8 is restricted to those 2 cells in box 4, and they both see this one. So now this is not a naked single, but a single. That's 3. And now this central, sorry, I shouldn't have put it in there. Right, that's a 3. And now this central box is beginning to unwind with some of these pairs. 3's come out of there, so it's 9. 9 comes out of there. 6, 7. I love how that unwinds. Now we've got a 4-5 pair. This is 1. 5, 9, 8, 3. This is 7. Take out 1 from the end there and 5 from that end. In fact, 5 now has to be here in box 6. And this seems to have pretty much unlocked the puzzle, I think, rather to my surprise. I mean, it's very prettily done. 1, 3, 2, 9, 8, 6. This is a 5, 8, 7 triple. Let's take the 7 out of there. We can remove the corner marks now. 3, 5, 9, 7, 2, 6. We've tried 1 because it's in one of those 2 cells. Can't be in one of these. It must be up here. Am I missing anything else? Might be, but I don't know now. 3's up there. 5 must be in one of these 2. 1 must be in one of these 3. Can't be any more specific than that yet. 3 is ruled out of all of those, obviously. Could be anywhere up there. Does that tell us something about 3's? Because 3 is restricted to those 2. If 3 was there, it would... Oh, in fact, these 3's all see that cell, so that's not a 3. So 3 is in this little dual combination here, and I think one of these 3 3's will be ruled out by that. So if that was a 3, that would be a 3, that would be a 3. If that's not conflicting with the other 3's. If that was, oh, that can't be a 3 because both those 2 positions see that one. So we can get rid of that one. That is a possible combination, but just restricted the 3's a bit. 9 is now in one of these 2 cells. Not that helpful, maybe. What else can we find? Ah, this one's interesting. It sees 8491 on the vertical. It sees 6 in its box, and it sees 5 and 7 by knight's moves. Now, more than that, it also sees 2 in one of those positions. Because, oh no, it doesn't. Sorry, that's nonsense. It is 2 or 3. Okay, we'll stick with that. I thought for some reason it was being ruled out as a 2, but I'm not confident about that anymore. Now that is this symmetrical cell? No, not particularly. So we've got 9 in one of those. 6 in the top box has to now be in one of those 2 cells. And 1 similarly, actually, in the same 2 cells, which is great. That's a 1-6 pair, and that means this can't be a 3 anymore, and the only place 3 can be in the box is now here. And that is going to resolve, isn't it, all of our 3s? No, not necessarily. I could still have those or those. Okay, it's not. And maybe I could have resolved that using those 3s earlier. I'm feeling pretty dumb if I could have done. Yes, I think I could. Oh well. Got there in the end. Anyway, that 3 sorts out the 5-3 at the bottom, rather surprisingly. That deals with the 4-5 there. We get a 9 here. That rules out 9 from both of those cells, puts it in the middle. Now 9 up here must be in the corner. Take 9 out of those 2. One of those is a 1. Don't know which one. 5 here and here. Actually, they've always seen this 5, so we can get rid of that possibility. This one can't be an 8 because of this 8. And it can't be a 7 as well because of that 7. Haha. That's 5, 8, 7. Now that 5 sorts out the 3-5 pair. The 4-8 pair has been resolved by that stuff. That 3 has made that into a 2, which was what I thought it couldn't be earlier, but it can. 7 and 6 down here. What have we got here? 1 and 7. Yeah, we can do those by the 7 in the central box. 3 and 5 here. I think this is working. This has to be a 4 now. Don't know about the 1 and 6 yet, but we'll come back to that. 2 and 8 here, and this one can't be a 2 because of the given on the knight's move. That 2 decides this 2-6-1 triple. The 8 has resolved the 8-4, and we're just finishing off now. This is 1 and 6. I'll come back to that 4 there. So these 4 are 1 and 6. Now in a normal classic Sudoku, you couldn't resolve that. It would be an impossibility. But in a knight's move Sudoku, somewhere there's going to be a 1 or a 6 within a knight's move, and there it is. That 1 is looking at that cell. So there we go. That finishes off the puzzle. That's a really nice puzzle, Mike. I like to think that's of about the standard, maybe one of the harder ones in our Knight's Move Sudoku app. So if you're liking that sort of puzzle, really, well, I recommend getting the chess app, and the Knight's Move puzzles will tend to be about that level, maybe a fraction easier sometimes, but it's a good puzzle and really enjoyable. Thanks very much for sending it, Mike. Thanks to your wife, Sue, for testing it as well. And thanks to everybody for watching, especially for watching us so often during the lockdown period. So difficult for so many people, but I hope we're bringing you a little light relief in the day. Thanks very much for staying with us, and hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.